So we're going to break down the song Side by Side. Side by Side is the second track off of the Summer Days EP that I released. It was also the second song that I ever created under this music project. So like we did in the other video, breaking down Don't Let Me Go, we're gonna play the music, and then as we go along, we'll take breaks and we'll take pauses, and I'll just kind of like break down what I was thinking during the creative process of writing Side by Side, both the instrumental and the lyrics. So without further ado, let's dive into Side by Side. So I mentioned in my last video that when it comes to this music project, I didn't want to do songs that are just only 4 chords. And yes, I know, I already broke that rule with this. But again, like I said, it was the second song I ever wrote. When I first wrote this song, I did start off in the chorus, just like how I did my previous song. That's just normally how I write. But I believe when I first made this song, I started with the chorus, but the lyrics actually came first, not the instrumental part. The instrumental I build around the lyrics. That's where I strayed off from my guidelines because I wrote lyrics first and then built the chords around that. It just happens from time to time, but it's no big deal. I'm really happy with the turnout of the song. Once I had the chorus locked down, I just started building from there. And then that's where the instrumental side came. And then once I flushed out the entire instrumental part, all the verses, intros, transitions, and all that jazz, then that's when I started writing the lyrics and completed the song. So when I was creating the instrumental for Side by Side, I wanted to add in some sort of synthesizer or something to just add in a different feel. And I know I talk a lot about with every song I make, I want to add in an extra instrument for the sake of texture and just being able to develop my sound and develop my craft as a musician. So this is actually where I first kicked off the whole idea of using keyboards and synthesizers in my music. I eventually did go back to the first song I wrote, Don't Let Me Go, and I recreated that one. So you can hear the old version somewhere on YouTube, maybe even on streaming services as of right now, July 9th, but I might remove it later on. The new version of Don't Let Me Go is on the Summer Days EP, and that's the one that has, you know, a bunch of different instruments, different textures, different sounds. That's the one I really worked on. But back to Side by Side, I kind of just wanted to make it fun. That's like the best way when it came to writing the song, because I was also so fresh with this tropical synth indie pop idea. So while looking back on it now, it does feel like a little bit generic. At the time, I was really excited. And I still love the song. I still think it's a great song, especially given like the parameters I set and the limited influences that I used. I think this idea came out really well. It's also definitely a fan favorite. I know I don't have like a lot of fans, which I'm totally cool with, but a lot of people have pointed out that they really like Side by Side out of all of the songs that I have, which is not a lot, but still, like, it's definitely one of the favorites.
We should wear our hearts on our sleeves, like candy hearts dangling at the seams. Oh baby girl, that makes you sugar sweet. We make a great team, yet you are out of my league.
So when it came to writing the lyrics for the song, I believe it also took me, weeks to months in between, because I am very strong in writing music and creating the instrumentals. But when it comes to actually like lyrics and writing lyrics, I personally don't feel I'm the best at, which I don't mind. I think every artist has some sort of pros and cons when it comes to their, music projects and things like that. Like everyone has a strength and everyone has a weakness, and mine I feel that is, lyric writing. When it came to writing this song, we're gonna get to the chorus in a little bit, building around the idea of love, which is really what the song's about, a generic pop song. I wanted to push the lyrics a little bit more than just standard stuff. And I can't really give you an example of standard. I believe that's a little subjective. It varies from person to person. But at least the line that I wrote of we should wear our hearts on our sleeves like candy hearts dangling at the seams, I thought that was pretty creative given the time that I wrote that song, or that I wrote that line. I wanted to make the lyrics very visual and in saying, we should wear hearts on our sleeves is very much the type of person I am. I'm very much like, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Here's my love. Or like, here's my appreciation to you, whatever you want to call it. And saying like candy hearts dangling at the seams is the visual hook that I wanted to add in, of basically saying like, you wear the heart on the sleeve kind of deal. But not only is it just like any heart, it's a candy heart. I think maybe when I wrote that, it was Valentine's around then. Maybe. I can't remember because I wrote this very long ago. But yeah, the idea of having like a candy heart on your seams and then tying into the next lyric line of saying that makes you sugar sweet kind of just, adds to the visual lyric of it all. So I was really proud of that section. And then of course, at the end of the verse saying, we make a great team, but you're out of my league. It's a reference to a Relient K song. Relient K is, one of my favorite, and coincidentally enough, I'm wearing a Relient K shirt. They're one of my most influential artists. I've been listening to Relient K since, middle school, back in like youth camp, youth church, all that jazz. So yeah, they've definitely created an impact on me, both lyrically and musically. So I just wanted to like throw in a little, reference to them. And then the pre-chorus is just harmonies and octaves of the word league. And the idea behind that was, I think it's like an 80s type of trick. I could be wrong, but I feel like I've heard that on a lot of 80s songs where they'll do some sort of turnaround and add in, harmonies and octaves and kind of like stack it on top of one another. And then that'll lead into a chorus. I don't really know where I got that idea from, but I just thought it would be super cool if I just stayed on one note, did that, and just tie into the chorus.
You just want the best in life. If you give me yours, girl, I'll give you mine. With my hand on this book, I testify. Until the end, we'll walk side by side.
Now, the chorus, I have no idea what influenced me with that line. You just want the best in life. Well, I'll give you yours if you give me mine. With my hand on this book, I testify. Until the end, we'll walk side by side. The visual there for me in writing this lyric was just, marriage. When it comes to you wanting to like really be with somebody for the rest of your life, the very go-to thing is, a marriage ceremony. And with that comes with making an oath to your partner and saying like, it's just you and I, baby, till the very end. And so I just wanted to portray that through the lyrics and try and like add this visual element to it. So that's where I kind of went with that chorus. But of course, like, you just don't want to like marry anybody, right? Like you want to make sure like, hey, like I'm giving you all of me. I would hope that you give all of you in this marriage. That way we work together and create something beautiful. So that's like the whole idea behind the lyrics. When it comes to the music aspect, and if you notice up to this point, I haven't really added a lot of guitar because that comes with the idea that I mentioned before in the previous video, that I wanted to simplify the guitar parts. I wanted to add the bass to really groove and stand out with the drums. Now, I didn't add in as many notes as I've added in previous songs with the bass, but still, like, the bass kind of like, like really, thumps, you could get your head like, yeah, it's a nice groove. Sometimes you don't need to get too busy in songs, and this is a great example of it. Just kind of keep it, just in the pocket, kind of grooving. So that's what I did there. And then adding synthesizer, like I said, has been like a new thing for me. So I really wanted the synthesizer to like really dominate on this song, which causes the guitars to like kind of like scale back a little bit. So even on the pre-chorus, same thing. Synthesizers kind of like, I don't think it's a synth. I think it's some sort of keyboard. Maybe it's like a marimba sound effect. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. A marimba. And then I just have the guitar underneath, like lightly plugging away at the same notes. That way it gives like a little bit of extra texture.
Oh, cutie girl, I love you smiling, especially when you try to hide it. You're what keeps me so lively. This feels more and more meant to be.
Now I understand that second verse is insanely cheesy. I get it. I know. I wrote it. Guilty as charged. I remember having an issue with this song on the second verse with the lyrics because I couldn't figure it out. I don't think these lyrics were a placeholder because from what I recall, I wanted to give that visual of, just making somebody laugh. I think that's very important in a relationship. And then, of course, at the end of that verse, I throw in the line, this feels more and more meant to be, just because giving that idea of feeling very hopeful in that relationship. I will say, when it comes to this pre-chorus, I was really impressed with myself only because I never really created anything like that musically. I mean, if you listen to it, things are kind of minimized. I mean, the bass is playing, one note the entire pre-chorus. The marimbas, keys, keyboards, and guitars are actually playing the same notes. There might be an octave, but they're playing the same notes over and over again. So there's really like nothing that amplifies this pre-chorus. The only thing that really stands out, which is like the point I was trying to make in doing this, was the vocals being the melody, the harmony, and then the octaves.
You just want the best in life. If you give me yours, girl, I'll give you mine. With my hand on this book, I testify. Until the end, we'll walk side by side.
So when it comes to this instrumental, I really wanted to make it feel very spacious when you're listening to it. Almost feel like you're floating, like that just type of feel. My producer slash friend, Sam, we kind of just working on this idea, and we basically stripped back the drums and just left it with a kick. We scooped the tone on the bass, so like you still hear a bass line, but it's just not going to be very like punchy, you won't be able to like really feel it. Didn't add in any guitars, and we left a synthesizer solo, and we didn't want it to be anything crazy. It was just something that kind of fit the groove. My other friend, who's also named Sam, who's also friends with that other Sam and me, we were messing around with that sound and just trying to come up with some sort of like cool synthesizer solo. I believe we tried doing that back in 2017 when I was first writing Side by Side. We were kind of having like little like recording sessions and trying to brainstorm and figure out like how the song is going to be coming out. Jumping from 2017 to I think 2021, 2022, when I actually started recording this song with the other Sam, I decided to kind of just go with this synthesizer solo and not add in anything extra because the song didn't really call for anything extra. The solo fit perfectly, so I sent it to Sam. He probably did some like little producing tricks just to make the song fit perfectly in the instrumental, and yeah, it came out great. So I really like the feel of this instrumental. Nothing too aggressive, but it's something you can kind of just like groove along to. So for the ending, we didn't want to like add in anything too different. We just decided, hey, just throw in the pre-chorus again, throw in the chorus, and then we can just kind of fade out from there on the last note. We didn't want to double the chorus or add in some sort of outro because the chord progression felt at this point very solidified, and if you were to try and do anything different, it wouldn't really fit. And I actually tried, for the sake of adding something new, I tried messing around with that outro, but nothing was really sticking. So we just decided, just kind of like fade out on the last note of the chorus. So yeah, you just hear a cymbal hit, fades, and it ends. So yeah, that's Side by Side. It was a lot of fun making this song. It took years for it to be made. It was just a lot to do grad school and work on this music project at the same time. Something kind of had to take a back seat, which is, fine. Like I felt like I made the right choice on that call. I would still go and record music whenever I had some free time. So yeah, I'm very proud of this song. It's crazy that I began writing this song in 2017 and didn't fully finish the recording, mixing, and mastering and all that stuff until 2021, 2022. I want to say 2022 just because of COVID. That time gap is crazy, but also just kind of like, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm happy that, I completed the song and added it to the EP. It's going to be a jam whenever I play these songs live in front of people, and I can't wait for that day to come. So yeah, thanks for checking out the video. I'll be having more breakdowns. As long as I'm writing music and doing cover songs, I'm going to be doing breakdowns of just the thought process and creative process of making music. I think that's very interesting. It's also very fun, and it hopefully, helps motivate other musicians to be pushing their creative boundaries. Catch you on the next one.